And you are back here on Open. I'm your host, Darren Jaime. On June the 4th, the Caribbean Cultural Center, African Diaspora Institute, and BronxWorks are joining together presenting Work, the dances of the Diaspora Urban Quilombo at BronxWorks Classic Community Center. And that's on 547 East 146th Street, right here in the borough of the Bronx. Here now to tell us what we can expect is the BronxWorks Development Director, Ken Small, and we welcome you to the show.
Darren, it's good to be back. Just a slight correction in terms of that address. The address for the BronxWorks Classic Community Center is 286 East 156th Street. And that's near 156 and Morris. So for folks who are going, the event's going to be at our Classic Community Center.
All right, so we'll make sure we get that up there and updated and edited as they're listening to me and getting that ready. Okay, that's good. All right. Well, let me talk to you about this because you got a lot going on. And, let's start back with last night. Talk about last night.
Last night was the BronxWorks annual event, and it was fantastic. We had a wonderful turnout. We had over 300 people come down to Tribeca 360. And actually, one of the folks we saw was Arlene Makoko. So I guess there's going to be a BronxNet segment coming up on the annual event sometime in the near future. And the event this year focused on the health and wellness activities of BronxWorks. So one of the things we did at the event was to have a call to action, and during the call to action, we raised about $35,000 to help support our health and wellness activities. And there was a very wonderful video that also aired at the event for the first time, again, focusing on health and wellness issues.
And we talked about this before because health and wellness has been the thrust of you guys this year. Are you satisfied with the way the year's progressed?
I think so. You know, we started the year, as you recall, Darren, with the Dip Against Homelessness, which I think in some ways kind of like got us started in terms of this. And last night, in some ways, kind of like served as a culmination thus far. But in another couple of weeks, on Father's Day, we're going to have another health and wellness related event. BronxWorks is going to have a 5K event that's going to take place here in the Bronx, and it's going to take place at Van Cortlandt Park.
And there's an early pickup, and the start time is going to be about 9 o'clock in the morning, and you're getting people out there getting healthy and at the same time supporting a good cause.
Yeah, and it's on Father's Day, so all the fathers, the grandfathers, the uncles, all the folks, you know, bring your kids, bring your grandkids, bring the relatives, bring the neighbors, bring everybody. We're really looking to have a good fun time on the 21st, and it's also another way to reinforce the importance of health and wellness here in the Bronx.
Yeah, because I mean, earlier on we were talking about taking a dip in the middle of the pool, and now we're talking about running, so you guys are really trying to do the whole athletic, stay fit, stay healthy thing.
If you can't run it, and bear in mind 5 kilometers is a little more than 3 miles. So for folks who aren't exactly ready to run 26.2 miles, we're not expecting folks to run like Olympic sprinters. And for people who are more inclined to walk at a leisurely pace, walk at a leisurely pace.
Right.
And you'd be surprised when you start walking with a group of friends, 3 miles goes by very quickly.
And if people want to know what 3 miles is, that's about 20 blocks a mile. So you're only looking at about, 60 blocks.
60 blocks.
And we can walk that.
Yeah.
We walk that shopping. We don't even know it.
Exactly. If you go to any mall, if you go along Fordham Road, all the times you go around and up and down in the various stores, you'd be amazed at how much you walk. So all we're saying is on June 21st, come out in the morning, and instead of doing the mall to start your day, on Father's Day, start your day with BronxWorks.
And we laugh and we joke about it, but really there's a little bit of a consciousness here, given the fact that we do suffer from so many health challenges here in the borough. When you got obesity and you've had high blood pressure and asthma and things like that. So you're being a contributing force in the fight against all of this.
This ties in very well not only with what BronxWorks has been doing, but it also ties in well with the borough president's Not 62 campaign. And in fact, one of the things we highlighted in our video last night was the borough president's effort. So it all ties in. I think there's a good amount of consistency.
Tomorrow night you have a very special event, and it is going to be Thursday, June the 4th, and it's taking place from 5 to 7, and a partnership with the Caribbean Cultural Center and the African Diaspora Institute.
Yeah, this is actually a continuation of a relationship that we've now had with the Caribbean Cultural Center going back about 10 years. So back, I guess it was about 2005, 2006, we actually had a major collaboration with the Caribbean Cultural Center. We had 4 after-school programs, and in each of those after-school programs, there were instructors from the Caribbean Cultural Center who engaged the young people in various kinds of cultural activities. So there was one group that did steel pan work, there was another group that did Afro-Latin jazz, there was a third group that did mainstream, I shouldn't say mainstream, did straight ahead bebop jazz. And it really gave young people, this is like, you know, kids who were in the 4th, 5th, and 6th grades, it really gave them exposure to various elements of African diaspora-based art forms, whether it's salsa, whether it's jazz, whether it's hip-hop. And the event that's going to be taking place tomorrow is similar in focus. The biggest difference is that instead of music, which is what we did 10 years ago, tomorrow we're going to be focusing on the dance piece. And so there's going to be modern African dance, there's going to be hip-hop based dance, and there's also going to be a focus on good old Jamaican dance hall dancing. So all the famous dances of what's on the continent as well as what's taking place here in the diaspora, folks will get a chance to get a taste of it tomorrow at the BronxWorks Classic Community Center.
So if people want to come on out, they're invited to come on out. It's free to the public?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And the first piece begins at 4 p.m., and then there's going to be another segment that starts around, I believe, 6:30 or so, and there'll be a concurrent session that's going to start around 7. So there's a lot of space at the Classic Community Center, so there's going to be a whole lot happening tomorrow. And again, we're doing it in conjunction with the Caribbean Cultural Center, so it should be a whole lot of fun.
As we talk about being here in June, and obviously it's the halfway point of the year, as you look towards the second half of the year, what's on your radar?
What's on the radar screen right now in terms of health and wellness is we're going to continue to look at the Mott Haven community. That's one of the communities that we want to target for health and wellness activities. So as we look ahead to July, August, September, we're probably going to be looking to do some work around community gardens in that area. We're exploring the possibility of doing a farmer's market. We're also looking at doing some intergenerational activities that relate to health and wellness that involve young people as well as seniors. So we've got a number of efforts that take place in NYCHA complexes, and we're looking to combine how do you engage young people and how do you engage seniors in the context of health and wellness at the same time.
Somebody out there is watching and say, why Mott Haven?
Mott Haven, when it comes to, if you will, the worst of the worst in terms of indicators, Mott Haven is unfortunately at the bottom of the bottom. So the Bronx as a county is at the bottom in terms of New York State. In terms of the city's 59 or so community districts, Mott Haven, the community district that constitutes Mott Haven, is at the bottom in terms of many of the health indicators. So that's the area we're looking to target, and you'll be starting to see some of the activities later on this month as well as in July.
Yeah, certainly we don't want to be at the bottom. We have seen a lot of progress in our borough, but you can't have Mott Haven.
We don't want to be not 62 in the state, or we don't want to be number 62 in the state, and we don't want to be at the bottom in terms of the community districts in New York City.
Yeah. So if you have an opportunity to come on out, listen, BronxWorks has a lot of things that are going on. You've heard the event that's taking place tomorrow between the hours of 5 and 7 p.m. We encourage you to come on out there, 286 East 156th Street. That's where the event is actually going to be taking place. There you see it's free admission. And, you got hip-hop, you got African dance, you got dance hall dance.
Dance hall. Can't forget the dance hall.
So the question is, which one are you going to be doing?
All of the above.
This I really want to come out. This I really want to come out and see. Ken Small, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Darren, it's always a pleasure.
All righty. I got to take a quick break, but coming up next.